Hello, YouTube. My name is Alan, and it's that time yet again. Let's talk metal, or more to the point for tonight, let's open some more metal because the postman has been by and dropped off another box full of CDs. So I figured let's open it on camera and folks can check it out. Folks tend to like unboxing videos, so here you go. And of course, by the time this video gets posted, I may have had these for a couple of weeks since I try to do just one video per week and post them on Tuesdays. And sometimes it takes a little while to catch up. So may have already gotten to play a few of these by the time you're watching this. We'll see when this one gets posted exactly. This time of year, I have been getting a bunch. I've recently done another unboxing video that may or may not end up on YouTube before this one. Spring is a time of year I've noticed where I end up buying a bunch of stuff. I don't know exactly why. It just seems like I stumble upon a lot of sales and a lot of people unloading stuff for a good price around this time of year. So I end up with a lot of stuff, and it kind of, then coast through the summer playing a lot of this stuff and going back and revisiting others as well. So where did this particular box came from? This actually wasn't a Discogs or an eBay thing. This was somebody who reached out and contacted me via email. This person has recently started their own sort of mail order business. They've been doing online sales for a while, but recently decided they were going to make it more of a full-time effort. And so they had sent me an updated list of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that seemed pretty interesting. And so, yeah, I went ahead and placed an order. The person's name is Jason. He's definitely been on the heavy metal scene for a long time. This is the first time I have dealt with him, though, to be clear. It's been very nice, very communicative and all that. I'm reaching out to him, and if he would like to add his contact info to the comments, I'm going to let him know when this video will be posted. And that way, if he would like to give everybody in the audience a way to reach out and also receive his email list, well, folks will be able to do that. I don't want to just post the info without his permission, though. I don't want to dox the guy in any way, shape, or form like that. So we'll see if he's interested in posting it. If so, check the comments down below, and there might be some contact information so you can see what he's got. He had a very extensive catalog for heavy metal stuff. He mentioned he also has catalogs for other collectible stuff. I believe he mentioned having prog 70s rock stuff and also some non-music collectible stuff as well. So if you're into other hobbies besides just collecting heavy metal records, you might also be interested in some of the other stuff that he's got for sale currently. So without further ado, let's try to get this box cut open. Doing this live is always a bit of a thing because I'm trying not to cut my hand open. Left-handed, one of the 11% of the human race who has that distinguishing characteristic, which means that cutting things open is sometimes more of a hassle than it is for the other 89% of people out there. But this got shipped pretty quickly. I don't remember everything in this order. I believe there's about 8 CDs in the box. I want to find out in a minute. Something I will mention about his catalog that I noticed, he did have, for some items, instead of just listing a price, he did have make an offer listed. And that, for some folks, may be a little confusing. It's not something that you see done all that commonly, except maybe, you can do it through eBay and Discogs, but you don't necessarily see it on email lists or sale lists a lot. I did want to say there was one item in the box that was listed that way with the make an offer. So I was like, well, okay, I will make an offer. And we were able to agree on a price pretty quickly. I thought he was pretty reasonable about that one. That's the only make an offer item I inquired about, but it was pretty easy to work out the offer with him. We were pretty close on the price. So I think if you make a reasonable offer for something you see on his list, chances are good that you'll be able to work that out and make that purchase. I just wanted to mention it because it might be a little bit of a head scratcher to folks like, make an offer, what am I supposed to do? Offer the Discogs price, the last eBay price? Just that, what do you want to pay for the item? And if it's a relatively fair price, it seems like the guy will work with you and, try to get it to work out. If you're offering him $1 for a CD that normally sells for $25, no, you're not going to get it that way. But no, I don't think he's like, fishing for ridiculous prices or anything like that. Use some common sense, check around online, see what the disc ought to bring. And if you're in the ballpark, yep, make an offer. Hey, the worst that's going to happen is he says, no, sorry, can't take that. Okay, we've got a box open. So let's see what's in here. Everything is packed up really well. We've got bubble wrap. We've got brown paper balls stuffing up. There's no way these discs are sliding around in this box whatsoever. So yes, we've got a brick of bubble wrap to work through now. Sometimes the bubble wrap's harder to get through than the box because there's not always a clear spot you can cut very cleanly to get through. Let's see what we can do here. All right. I think that was a load-bearing bubble that I just popped because the whole thing has started to come undone. All right, like I said, I remember a couple of the things in this order, but I don't remember everything. I've done several orders lately. I'm a sick little monkey, what can I say? So don't necessarily remember what's coming from who or when. So we'll just pull them off the top and see what we've got. Let's see here. First, oh, wait, there's still a layer of bubble wrap between me and the goodies. So let's work our way through that one as well. So definitely well packaged for folks to worry about that. Over the years, most folks have gotten pretty good at packing things reasonably, but it still happens sometimes where things get packed very poorly. Let's see. Okay, up first to mention his mail order catalog does have some freebies if you're ordering a certain amount of material. And I got to pick 2 free items. Those are on top of the box here. So one, he had a list of stickers with different things on it. The free sticker that I chose, he's got a range of them. I chose a Manila Road sticker because why wouldn't I? He had a lot of very cool ones, but this was kind of a no-brainer for me. It's like, that's definitely the one for me. So cool Manila Road sticker. This will go on my LP box that I carry with me to record shows with stuff to trade and a place to put records in. So yeah, I always put stickers all over that thing, and the Manila Road one will look good on that. Let's see, then I also got to choose a free CD from a list of stuff for free. In the free CD list, there were also cassettes on the list and maybe a couple of pieces of vinyl. A lot of them were things like promo copies, CDs that came in the cardboard sleeve and all that. And the one that I chose as the free item was Angel Dust's Bleed, German power metal band. Most folks know them for their 2 albums from the 80s, which were good, but it definitely got lost in the mix of all the bands from the 1980s. They came back in the mid to late 90s and did some very good albums. This one's quite strong. I had it a long time ago, and it got sold off at some point when I had to purge a lot of stuff out of the CD collection. So yeah, there were some other cool things on the free list, but it's like, kind of wish I had that one back a little bit, and was happy to pick that one up. It's in one of the cardboard promo type sleeves, but that's absolutely fine. It's free. Can't really complain about that. Okay, so free stuff's out of the way. Let's see now, what did we actually order here? Okay, this item I had not seen before, but was kind of interested in picking this up. It is a 2 CD set by Sinister with their first 2 albums, I believe it is, Cross the Sticks and Diabolical Summoning. So a lot of folks, Ken over at Ken's Death Metal Crypt, Marty over at the Marty Worm channel, they talk very highly of Cross the Sticks. I've heard parts of it here and there, and it does sound quite good. I've never owned it before. And Diabolical Summoning I did own way back in the day. And this was another CD that just at some point when I sold off a bunch of death metal, it went out the door too. Always thought it had, one of the best pieces of cover art for a death metal CD, and you can see most of it represented there on the cover. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Had never seen a 2 CD set with them on it before. Interesting kind of trifold design here. Looks pretty neat. Be glad to check that one out, get a better listen of Cross the Sticks, and revisit Diabolical Summoning for the first time in a long time. All right, up next, not too long ago, me, Marty, and Jason Hook from the Let's Get Into It channel did one of our Friday night heavy metallurgy streams where we covered Manowar and did our personal rankings of the Manowar catalog. As I was replaying a lot of Manowar stuff building up to that, I realized I no longer had a physical copy for a couple of their albums, which, there's one or two I'm not that keen on. Most of their catalog's quite good, though. One of them that I was missing a hard copy of was Into Glory Ride. And so I was on Jason's list here, and I figured, yep, I will be glad to have that back on the shelf. Some folks were a little shocked, I think, that I didn't have this as like one of the top 2 or 3 Manowar albums. That's the thing about personal rankings. It's whatever albums you like best. And while Into Glory Ride's an extremely good album, there's just some others in their catalog that I like even more. But yeah, happy to get a copy of this to add to the CD shelf. Absolutely. So there's Manowar. Okay, this one, now I actually have a copy of this already, but Jason had it on the list. It was a good price, and it's not a CD I see very often. I also feel like there's somebody recently asking me about a copy of it. So this might end up in a VCLT box, or I might trade it to somebody at some point. We'll see. It is Edge of Sanity's Purgatory Afterglow. Personally, it's my favorite album from the Edge of Sanity discography. They did several good ones, of course. But yeah, some of these older Black Mark CDs have gotten kind of a pain to find. There's issues with getting them reissued, apparently. And so while I did have one copy of this, I was like, yeah, that's a fair price for an extra copy. Somebody out there wants it or needs it, and I don't mind paying a few bucks to have an extra copy of that when the time comes. All right, let's see. So that's 3. Number 4 on the list. Okay. This is Danger Zone by the German band Sinner. This was one of their earlier albums. They have a huge catalog. I don't have hard copies of any of their early stuff. I don't have anything before about the 9th or 10th album, but I've heard several of them. They're pretty good. Sinner was on Noise Records for several years, and they've hopscotched across a lot of different labels over time. This was the disc. This is, I think, a 1994 Noise CD pressing. This was the one that he had listed with a make an offer thing. I made an offer, and yeah, we worked out an agreement very quickly on that. So Sinner is pretty good, straightforward German heavy metal. They're probably closest in style to Rage, but think Rage if you took them a little bit away from the power thrash or like the speed and thrash end of the power spectrum, and shifted him a little bit more towards the hard rock end of the spectrum. I've always liked Matt Sinner's style. His vocals are good, like his guitar playing. What can I say? It's just another good German power metal band. They usually don't go particularly fast or particularly heavy. They never got a ton of recognition back in the day, but they've had a long career, very long discography, something like 19 studio albums. I think their discography in length is only second to Rage in terms of the number of studio albums they've put out. So you don't come across their stuff in the wild very often. I'm very happy to get a hard copy of Danger Zone to add to the slowly growing stack of Sinner CDs on the wall back there. All right, so I think we are about halfway through the stack. Number 5, we have Transcendence by Crimson Glory. Another one that I've owned in the past, gotten rid of, owned, gotten rid of. Time to own it again. Had been thinking recently that it's probably an album I should pick back up. I enjoy their stuff a lot. Just didn't have this one currently, and it was on the list. So yeah, picked it up. Gorgeous cover painting. Crimson Glory is pretty well known among 80s power metal fans. They are in that overall Queensryche style of power metal. Midnight's vocals are very good. A lot of folks have this as their favorite Crimson Glory album. I tend to like the self-titled a little bit more, but this one, of course, has a lot of good stuff on it as well. All right, up next is something else that was a purchase that came out of the heavy metallurgy streams a while back. Marty and I did a European death metal stream with Simon from the Explosive Action channel. That was a lot of fun. And in preparing for that one, I had replayed some early 90s Pestilence that I hadn't played in a very long time. And I quickly remembered just how much I liked Testimony of the Ancients. But I didn't have Testimony of the Ancients anymore. So picked a copy of that up from the list as well. I looked at copies of the, what are they called? From the Vault, where it's like the 2 albums on 1 disc. Pestilence had a version of that done with Consuming Impulse and this, but that disc has gotten kind of pricey. So it's like, I don't want to pay $30 or so for that. Don't know about that. But then this mail order list had just the Testimony of the Ancients CD for a better price. And it's like, yeah, we can do it that way. That'll work just fine. Very cool album, good stuff. Glad to put that back on the CD shelf. All right, we've got 2 left to go. Next up is another Edge of Sanity CD. This one is Crimson. Critically acclaimed album. I've heard it a lot when it came out. My girlfriend at the time owned the album and was really into it. Musically, I remember it being very good. It's one of those where it's, one big long song. It's a single song divided up, of course, into a lot of parts, but it's really meant to be one song. And, as a kind of listening experience, I'm just not often into. I'm not looking to sit down and hear one song that lasts for 48 minutes. But this is a very good one musically. It's one I didn't have a hard copy or a digital copy of at all. And again, these Black Mark CDs, not always easy to track down. It was on the list for what I thought was a reasonable price. So it's just like, yeah, this feels like a good time to go ahead and pick that one up too. So it'll be cool to hear that. I have not played that one in a very long time, since I haven't owned a copy of it in a very long time. All right, and we're down to the last disc in the stack. And this one is Tiamat, A Deeper Kind of Slumber. Tiamat was one of those 90s death metal bands that I, was aware of. I'd picked up a couple of albums by. Clouds was one that I liked quite a bit. And right about the time they started getting bigger with the Wild Honey release and then A Deeper Kind of Slumber, I just sort of lost track of the band. For whatever reason, the stores that I was visiting in my local area never seemed to get any Tiamat stuff in. They got stuff in by lots of other bands from that era. Therion I could find on the shelf. Unleashed I could find on the shelf. Sentenced I could find on the shelf. Tiamat just never got stocked in those stores for some reason. I don't really know why. I was really interested to hear Wild Honey back in the day. I heard, a song here and a song there off of it. I thought it sounded pretty cool. Nobody stocked it. And it was one that I never got around to, doing the special order thing for. That cost more money. It wasn't an album I wanted to hear that bad that I wanted to have to go order it for, $24.99 as a special order or something. So yeah, I kind of just lost track of Tiamat. Got interested in them again watching Matt's videos over on the Dark Path channel. Matt does excellent deep dives. He knows a lot of those 90s era metal bands very, very well, and he's kept track of them over the years. He's got the full discography. He knows all the ins and outs of their career. So they're very informative. Really like that video format he does. And Tiamat was just like, yeah, I really do need to get around to picking those up. I've ordered Wild Honey recently as well. As I say, yeah, I'll go ahead and take a chance on this one too. It's on the list. It's a fair price. Add it to the shopping cart. Here we go down the rabbit hole over again. So there you go. We've got 8 discs to listen to, 9, including the free disc. And we've got a cool sticker to put onto the record box when I start getting back out to record shows, hopefully this summer. So that is going to do it for this video. Now let's talk metal. In the comments down below, what kind of cool stuff have you been picking up lately? Are there some things that you let go of once upon a time that you've been meaning to pick back up? You feel like, yeah, the time is right. Wouldn't mind having a copy of that once again. And you're on the hunt. You're figure you're going to add that back onto your vinyl or CD shelves. What is it that you're hoping to track back down? We'll leave a comment down below and we'll chat about it. All right, that is going to do it for tonight. So again, a big thank you to Jason Everything was packed extremely well. Communication was great, got shipped incredibly fast. And yeah, seems like a pretty nice guy. This is, again, our first interaction, even though he's been around on the heavy metal scene for quite some time. If he wants to, he can leave his contact information in the comments down below as well. And that way other folks can contact him if you're interested in placing an order for something as well. Okay, until next time, everybody take care. Catch up on listening to everything that you need to, and keep banging your head.